Everybody, is Stuff from Not Moon Podcast, and man, we're getting some more context as to what the hell went down in Denver for them to fire the head coach with just a few games left, right before the playoffs are about to begin, as they are currently seeded fourth. My previous vid was just kind of like what was going on. I mean, is this personal? I mean, we didn't hear anything, right? But then when the GM got fired, I was like, okay, there has to be a philosophical difference, an issue. And it seemed like the owner just said, you know what, it's my way or the highway. It seemed like ownership just said, bunk it. It is time for a new just front office regime. Get rid of the GM, get rid of the coach, and start fresh. Okay, so this most recent report is this one says that Nikola Jokic has reportedly been frustrated with the Nuggets' defensive performance this season. That's no surprise. Everybody's been talking about how bad the Nuggets defense has been. I think they're giving up on opponents scoring on them about 117 per game. Okay, so league sources said they heard, sources say there had been significant frustration within the locker room at how the Nuggets were playing, particularly defensively. The Nuggets were just 20th in defensive rating. Jokic has been frustrated with the team's defensive commitment and performance this season. Okay, I mean, it's not like Mike Malone is not a stickler for defense. Okay, it's not like Mike Malone doesn't crack that whip. Okay, so interesting that Jokic shared his frustrations. Did Malone share his frustrations to the GM, and then they had a difference on who should be in the lineup? Okay, but clearly it seemed to me like Jokic's frustration. They made quick wholesale changes, as they should, right? I mean, look, there's been other star players, championship star players in the league, that they voice their frustrations behind the scenes. And we see wholesale changes. Okay, I'm not gonna name any particular players, but you guys know probably who I'm talking about. So we're gonna, as much as certain players will get heat for manipulating things behind the scenes or complaining behind the scenes, and then there's coaching changes. Certain players get excoriated. So in this case, people like Nikola Jokic, he doesn't talk much. He's one of the best. He's the best big, if not the best big in the game. And, people will call him, people are already view him as the best player in the league. Okay. So, let's not, so star players, will complain. Okay. So just because we don't hear about it, we don't see it front facing, doesn't mean that, there are going to be some, now I'm not saying he advocated for Malone to get fired, but when you're a star player, you're a 3-time league MVP player, championship player, NBA Finals MVP player, has frustrations, ownership is gonna perk their ears up because Jokic ain't going anywhere, and you're gonna do what you can. Okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind of. Now, I thought this was funny. Okay, I was under the assumption, I was hard on Russell Westbrook. I was giving him props. I know he had a game blunder recently, but I thought that he fit in with the team defensively and was contributing offensively. Okay, and it seemed like that was a problem with the GM management, Calvin Booth, who was also let go. Okay, so Calvin Booth was dismayed that Mike Malone would continue to play Russell Westbrook over Jalen Pickett. Booth wanted Malone to use younger players that he drafted, and wanted Malone to stray away from using veterans for so many minutes. Jalen Pickett is a good example of this. According to league sources, Booth was dismayed that Malone went with Russell Westbrook. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, there's been the talk now, as I did more digging, that there's been issues with just a short rotation, okay, and not using some of the other young guys. Okay, I don't know if Christian Brown was getting more minutes. Was it Peyton Watson? All these other guys, and this guy, Jalen Pickett, right? Was there an issue of, again, so that was a philosophical issue, basketball issue, in terms of, hey, Mike Malone wants to play the guys he feels is gonna get them to whatever promised land he thinks, as he was the current head coach. Not the case. Okay, so he's playing Russell Westbrook, and he's not developing or giving these other younger players, the guys that Booth drafted, a chance. Now, could those guys suck? Maybe. I mean, look, he's only getting 4 points, but he's not getting enough minutes though, right? Could we see, could Jalen Pickett have grown a little more if he got more minutes during the regular season? Then, as he develops, and getting some more game reps, that he'll be a contributing factor for this team. And everybody's talking about Jokic needs help. He needs help. He needs help. He needs help. Doesn't that sound very familiar with other players around the league? Yeah, that's what Jokic needs. Jokic needs that. Okay, despite having Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, and Michael Porter. Okay, so there's that aspect. All right, the other one is, where's this one? Okay, speaking of getting some help for Jokic, there's also those issues now that Michael Porter, that ownership did not want to trade Michael Porter. Now, how were they going to get some help? You got to trade some assets, and the Nuggets really didn't make any trade moves, right? So they said that trading Michael Porter was the most obvious pathway, but sources say that not only was the market cool on Porter for multiple reasons, but ownership had said 2 months before the deadline they were against trading Porter. I don't know how the market is cool on Porter. Someone who is averaging 18 points, 7 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what's his free throw percentage this season? Someone who is shooting 39% from 3. I don't know how someone cannot use his services. Okay, or the market was cool on Michael Porter. Okay, was the league off on him on defense because he can't play that much good of a defense? But the league sucks overall when it comes to defense. Only a few teams can really play some defense. Okay, is it injury history? I don't know. I mean, he's played 74 games this season. So what are the other reasons as well? Is it ties to his brother who got in trouble for gambling? Is that what we're talking about? Is that the other reasons for Michael Porter? We're against what is it? Reasons. Let's see. But sources say not only was the market cool on Porter for multiple reasons. What are the multiple reasons? A guy who's been playing his games, averaging 18 points and 39% from 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. Okay, interesting. So clearly, a lot of turmoil a lot of just issues between Mike Malone and the bench, not utilizing the bench and the younger players that Calvin Booth wanted. Okay, so there's that. Then Jokic has been upset with just how the team's been playing defensively. I mean, it's not like Jokic is a great defender himself, but nonetheless, he's complaining about that. Okay. And then Michael Porter not able to use him. Oh, Russell Westbrook, using him too much. Michael Porter. Okay, there's so many things going on that we didn't know about. All right, or maybe people didn't know. So that's why this information came out rather quickly. There's gonna be some wholesale changes in Denver this offseason. Some of these guys to watch on the clock is a guy like Michael Porter and Jamal Murray. Right? Could those be trade pieces? Right? Aaron Gordon. I feel like all those guys are going to be on the table. And how do you want to build a team? Right? Do you want to move one of these guys, 2 of these guys, to build to have a bigger bench, to have more role players? Right? I mean, I get it. I mean, look. Number one is funny because Michael Porter during the season or before the season started said this could be their last dance, which is funny. And fast forward, I mean, it was definitely Mike Malone's last dance, but he couldn't finish the dance. Seems like they were trying. Michael Porter was going to finish the dance, but ownership wanted to keep him. Okay, very, very interesting news coming out of Denver. It's crazy in a matter of moments that just a team that's sitting fourth, we're hearing all this dysfunction, and they gotta put it all together and try to win games. Okay, so good luck. But we got more context to all this going on that went down in Denver as a reason why Mike Malone got fired, or at least we could put some pieces together as to what the hell really happened. Anyways, is it still is this even fair for Mike Malone? Are you gonna hold them? So is the shortened bench his problem? Shortening the bench, and is the defense his fault? Right? We don't know. Anyways, guys, y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.